A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH286, Patricia and David. And it is the Monday, the 20th of November, getting towards the very end of the season. Tonight we have a bit of news, seeing as we've only got a couple of boats to check in. Not that they're not important, but at least we'll have some time for a little bit of relevant news to you. Then we'll talk to Sperari and Tamariki, and then we'll throw it open to see if anybody has anything that they might want. Okay, well, it is raining here. What a surprise, but it didn't start raining until about 4 this afternoon. I think it was raining quite heavily up in the Opua area for quite some time today. We have 19 degrees, which is quite surprising, seeing as it's from the south, but only a very light 3 knots of southerly wind, 1016.4 on the bar. It's slowly climbing as the subtropical low moves away to our east, and of course it's 100% cloud cover. Actually, it's not actually raining at the moment, but it's certainly rather damp looking outside. Okay, well, a bit of news for you. Today marks the opening of another marina in New Zealand. It's the Kennedy Bay Marina at Waiheke Island, just by Auckland here. It's a 181 berth marina, not huge, but it will be quite useful to those folk that are visiting or living at Waiheke Island. It's not been without controversy, I might add, but anyway, it's done and dusted now, and there it is at the eastern end of the island. Booths in the United Kingdom. I like this bit of news because I can't stand these self-checkouts at supermarkets, and they have decided to ditch self-checkout. Whoa, great stuff. They're always a pain in the neck. I never can manage to work them out. Well, I thought this was news. Sperari are about to check in tonight, and they are as far north of the equator tonight as they were south of the equator last night. Now, how's that for a bit of a coincidence and doesn't happen very often? Certainly hasn't happened on Gulf Harbour Radio before, so I thought that would be very interesting news. Another news, I guess, of political importance to New Zealanders. Policy has been agreed, finally. We did have about a month ago a general election, and because 3 parties, National, ACT and New Zealand First, had to agree together to form a government. They have been talking or not talking, as the case may be, and finally today they have agreed policy. So all that has to happen now is that they decide who's doing what, who's going to be minister, who's going to be deputy prime minister, etc. God knows how long that will take. Anyway, that's done. But of more interest to cruisers is the announcement today, official announcement, that the Island Cruising Association have purchased the Australian Down Under Rally. Big congratulations to Vicky, who has done a magnificent job at resurrecting and making fantastic the Island Cruising Association, the ICA. And this purchase, combining the New Zealand side of things and the Australian side of things, will only be for the good of all cruisers and what she can offer and organise and make available, and just generally continue the great job that she's doing. So well done, Vicky, and we look forward to bigger and brighter things. There will, of course, be a new website and all sorts of other changes as this happens, but that will all tick by in the coming months over the summer break. So there you go. Fantastic. All right, let's go to Sperari, way on the other side of the equator. Sperari, Gulf Harbour Radio. Yep, and I've just increased the gain on your signal too. Must be this being on the other side of the equator, Sergio. Well done, you guys. Go ahead.
Okay, very well. Of course, we are in the northern hemisphere, and I've already checked the direction of the toilet when we flush it, and to confirm it. So the GPS is right. So location or position tonight is 00 degrees 54 minutes north and 158 degrees, 00 minutes west. We were doing about 5 knots before we stopped the engine to talk to you guys, and the heading was all 25 true. We should be there tomorrow before noon, I guess, and we're still expecting some wind to shift to easterly. Right now, it's very light, and let's say it's very okay. So back to you, Patricia.
All copied, all copied. Good signal from Sperari in the Northern Hemisphere. 0054 south. Stand by, I have a glass of water. I knew I'd lose my voice tonight. 0054 north, 158 even west. 025 true course when they're motoring, about 5 knots. Wind is light and variable. And I have in front of me good news, because there are 2 reefers in the island, Christmas Island, or whatever you want to call it. It seems to have a different name depending on what you look up. But there are 2 reefers, one registration Panama, one registration China. So there's sure to be things to purchase, like fuel on the island. They are at the northwestern end where all the buildings are. And I presume you will be going in the London Passage, which is where all of the buildings, and I presume checking in, etc., will be, Serge. Back to you. Over.
Yeah, so far on the radio, I kind of lost you in the noise there, so I guess we'll call it a night.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just realised I wasn't putting out any power. I don't know why. Must have been my throat. Anyway, I did repeat your position, and I did tell you that there are 2 ships, 2 reefers, one Panama registered, one Chinese registered. They are at the northwestern side where all the buildings are, and I presume you will be going in the London Passage where the buildings are, and presumably the population, whatever the population is. I'll just pass the microphone. How copy now, Serge? Over.
Okay, Roger. Got a good copy now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, got to turn the right button. Okay. Yeah, I got all kinds of information on Ronton. This is very interesting. So tomorrow, I've got the tides. You may not care because there's very, very little tides around the equator. And in Ronton, it's only about a half a meter. Anyway, for Tuesday, the high tide is 2244 at basically 0.52 meters. Low tide 0411 at 0.25. I know you're going to ask me if that's UTC or if that's local time. I don't know. But like I say, a half a meter one way or the other, I don't think it's going to matter. But it does look like the winds are going to be out of the east at about 10 knots, 9, 8, 9, 10 knots, like that. And from what I can see, it's going to be partly cloudy. You'll have the sun peeking through these clouds. So I don't see any precipitation tomorrow. And I'm looking at the water temperature, 29 degrees C. Now that is what I consider nice temperature for jumping in the water. So yeah, I'll enjoy that. And I'm trying to see what the drizzle forecast is. I think you're going to be pretty lucky for the rest of this week, Serge. It looks pretty good. So if it does drizzle, it's not going to be much from what I can see here. No big cloud buildups and whatnot. Surrounding Ronton, there are buildups, there are clouds. The ITCZ has been a bit discombobulated the last few days, but it looks like it's going to reform maybe later in the week. And depending upon when you decide to leave, we'll take a better look at it, where it is, and look carefully at the MJO. Right now, the MJO is fairly active in eastern Indian Ocean, heading for the northern part of Australia. That means there's going to be precipitation expected. But where you are, it looks like suppressed precipitation. In other words, not much in the way of rain. So you got an interesting place. There's a lot of weather information there. They have a weather station, and it's going to be fun for me to get your actuals compared to what the station that's sitting probably a half a mile from where you're going to be anchored has to say. So anyway, hope you got all of that. And congratulations on crossing the equator. I hope you did the appropriate homage to Neptune. Boy, I sure hope you did. Over.
Okay, Roger. Thank you for the information. And it's nice to learn that we're going to have nice weather this week. Thanks for the side. We're not sure where we're going to anchor yet. We're not sure if we can get inside the lagoon and to go to the small boat Harbour. The information I got now is that the channel has moved and it moves with the sandbank. So I guess we're going to have to get some local knowledge before doing that. Otherwise, we'll be anchored near what Patricia saw as the big ship. So all is well. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, Serge. Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to be on the other side in the Bay of Rex. What a good name. That tells you what goes on there. Yeah, well, that's interesting because this AIS chart doesn't tell you what date it is or anything, actually, as to where they got it from. So can't tell you anything, but it does look as if you could sneak in that London passage. But yes, you will have to see what happens when you get there. All right, well, you'll certainly see where the ships are, that's for sure. All right, actually, one of them, oh, yeah, they're both there now. Hang on, I'm just checking to make sure that they are still stationary, and indeed they are. All right, we will clear with you, and I will go to Tamariki, but before I do that, I will just tell David that Y2K are in Nawi with brief showers, wind in the south 13 to 19 bracket, 1008.7, and tomorrow they will probably depart Fiji and get going to Tuvalu. All right, I know Tamariki left today. Hopefully they've found their sea legs again. Peter and Midge, Tamariki, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour Radio, Tamariki.
Yeah, I hope I'm a little bit stronger than you are tonight, Peter, but I think I can copy you okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Patricia and David. Tonight we are at 21 degrees, 25 south, 175 degrees, 04 west. Speed over the ground of 6. We're doing 200 cruise. The barometer is 1016 as near as my eye can see. The wind 10 knots. Course is 120. Well, about 90% cloud.
Okay, we have Tamariki, 21 degrees 25, having left Tonga Tapu today, 17504 west, on a course of 120 true at 6 knots, barometer 1016, no swell, 90% cloud cover, and 10 knots. You didn't give me the wind direction. I think you said southwest, but could you just clarify the wind direction, Peter? Over.
Yes, correction with our course. I read the wrong thing. Our course is 200 degrees. The wind is about 120 degrees.
Oh, that's good. That's what I had originally, and I got a bit confused. And the only other $64 million question is your port of arrival. Are you going to spring us Nelson, or are you going to go for Opua or Marsden? Over.
We're going to take Mitch home to Opua. Over.
Okay, we'll go for Opua. All right. Well, you know what you're going to get, presumably, for the next 24 hours, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. So, hello to Midge, and we will clear with Tamariki. Any questions or anything at this stage? Over.
No, we're pretty pleased with the wind we got and direction we can sail. No, we're okay tonight. Thank you.
Yep. Well, long may it continue. All right. We will clear with you, and David might just have a little look at what he's looking at. Hang on.
Yeah, I'll look at what I'm looking at. The 90%, I could believe that, because there is a trough that's running from way south, maybe about 40 degrees south, runs north-northwest all the way up to where you are. And winds, from what I can see, tomorrow are going to be in the neighborhood of east-northeast. But then on the other side of this trough, the winds are going to be southeast, maybe even south-southeast. Not very strong, but they're there. The trough is there. And, it'll be very interesting. Interesting trip. So there you go. Here's the chief.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to follow you down, and we'll see who leaves from Fiji. Okay, is there anybody else on frequency wanting to call in? Please call now.
Hi, Candy.
Hi, Candy. Where did you end up today, Andrew and Claire? Over.
We haven't finished yet. The sailing was so good we just kept going, and we're hoping to get into Broken Bay just north of Sydney this evening.
Yeah, I hear it's finally, is it still raining, or is it cleared up a bit? Obviously, the wind must be in a decent direction for you. Over.
We just had some rain this afternoon, and that was all. But the last 24 hours, till 9:30 this morning, we did 188 miles from the beginning to where we were. 44 miles of that was the current. Over.
Oh.
Good Lord, boy, you certainly have to pay attention to current over there. Well, whilst you're on, you can give me your position. Over.
Okay, position is 33 degrees 00 minutes south, 151 degrees 58 minutes east, and we're doing a course of 209 magnetic speed 6.5, but we're motoring at the moment. Over.
Okay, so I Candy motoring towards Broken Bay using the current 3300 south, 15158 east on a course of 209 magnetic down the Aussie coast, 6.5 knots motoring. All right, well, what time do you think you'll be pulling the plug? Over.
We'll be putting the anchor down around midnight, I think.
Yeah, say again.
Midnight.
Oh, good Lord. That's a long sail for you. All right, so you'll be arriving midnight tonight. Just as well, what are the conditions in the sky like? Have you got a reasonable clear sky? Over?
No, it's been cloudy all day, 100% cloud all day. Over.
Okay, 100% cloud cover. All right, well, just thank goodness for chart plotters. Hi. All right. Well, pretty reasonable copy from you, and I presume you heard the news that the Down Under Rally and the ICA are now one organisation. Over.
Yes, John Hembrow let us all know that about a week ago, so it's quite a change. Over.
Yep, I think it will be a good one. I'm sure both organisations now have a very good reputation, so it can only be better with the larger numbers. Okay, Andrew, good to talk to you, and a nice signal from you. Clear with you. Is there anybody else? No, nothing heard. I thought I might have heard a squeak from Fiji, but nothing more. And this is Gulf Harbour Radio. We're sitting here watching our tui keep coming back. Well, it's probably different tuis, but they're busy feeding lazy things at the sugar solution we put out for them. They get through a wine bottle a day, 750 mils. But they are beautiful birds to watch flying in and out. And they're getting used to us. They don't get too skittish now. All right, folks, we will be back again tomorrow. And, oh, by the way, if anyone is interested in the whole COVID business, I am on antivirals now, and they seem to be having a positive effect because I tested myself again today, and although David is still testing very positive for COVID, I have only got a faint positive, so with a bit of luck, well, not that it means anything because you still feel sick as a dog, but I mean at least it's the antivirals are doing what they're meant to do, so that is good, I suppose. Anyway, cheers all, and we'll be back again tomorrow. This is Gulf Harbour Radio. If anyone wants the frequency, it's all yours.
Ferrari. This is Ricky.